The comfort of your favorite seat is now your comfy car selling command center, thanks to Carvana.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Your favorite seat's the best spot in the house. Make it even better by entering your license plate or VIN and getting a real offer in minutes.
There really is no place like home.
And speaking of home, Carvana will pick up your car from yours after you finalize your offer. Visit Carvana.com or download the app and sell your car from your comfy place.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.
Rico.
Every year, at the end of October, people around the world celebrate the holiday known as Halloween. Traditionally celebrated by dressing up as your favorite ghouls and ghosts, the holiday actually has a long and storied past. The roots of this candy-filled celebration of terror go far back into the history of Celtic tradition, where the holiday was known as Samhain, and was a time where the world of the spirits and gods would cross over into the mortal plane. From that time, the holiday has gone through many transformations to become what we see today. But is there something more sinister that brought the holiday into the American mainstream? What part did Big Candy play when it came to the popularization of trick-or-treating? Even more interesting, is there evidence that there has been some sort of unholy plot to reduce the size of Halloween candy over the years? Join the theorists as they bring you full-size Kit Kat conspiracies on the story of Halloween. Disclaimer. In this case file, I mispronounced the Celtic holiday Samhain as Samhain. Just go with it. Also, while we're on the topic of mispronunciations, a concerning number of our listeners seem to believe Braden, spelled B-R-A-D-E-N, is pronounced Brandon or Brendan. I'd like to take this opportunity to let everyone know it's pronounced Craig. Thank you.
Welcome to Alien Theorist Theorizing, Case File 114, All Hallows Eve. I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew.
Booyah. Oh, Dan took over the whole screen.
Mega Dan.
Yes, as
There
it
you go.
should be.
We call that Mega Dan.
It's Dan here live on the fly.
Well, it's just
Or
all being like
Zordan.
being put into proportions
Rangers.
of what everybody fucking contributes. So it's just a big face, just Big Dan.
Especially if you're listening to this one. Little special Halloween episode, everyone's favorite holiday coming up. But before we get into the origins of Halloween, why don't we mix things up a little bit and get right into some space news?
Space news. Boom. Space news.
I'm loving that new graphic. This is
Oh,
just...
buddy, you should just wait. You see what's coming. It's going to be a surprise. We got graphics.
Can't wait.
We got video makers.
Oh, damn.
helping
We
us
made
out.
it.
Classing it up a bit.
Yeah.
NASA Europa mission? I
Europa?
think I said Europa.
Europa?
I'm 2 Caesars deep. NASA Europa mission could potentially spot signs of life. But in very tiny text under that heading is, but it's a long shot.
But it's a long shot.
But it's a long shot. So basically they're looking at Jupiter's moon, Europa. I think Europa?
Europa.
I think I'm saying it right.
Europa.
And they think there might be life swimming in the dark, frigid oceans. And NASA is going to try to find it. So the Europa Clipper spacecraft is scheduled to launch mid-2020 on a mission to characterize the icy moon's subsurface sea and its life-hosting potential. So another interesting. So there's ocean, there's water.
Calling it right now. Space mermaids.
Space
Calling it.
mermaids.
Space mermaids.
Is that
It's on
now?
it.
Is that still the best of both worlds, or now we're
A little surf and turf, yeah, as
Yeah.
Dan says.
Surf and turf.
But yes, best of both worlds.
I think that was my favorite part of mermaids.
Yeah.
Is that what people say? No one says that.
No, absolutely nobody says that.
I like that too. I was like, because it's a thinker. You're like, is it the best? You're like, no, it's 100%. It's not.
It is not.
Just the fish bottom's the worst. That's the worst.
What? Fish.
For
Eh.
all the people that were giving me shit, I'm not into fish bottoms.
But if you were, I mean,
There's not that there's anything wrong with
not that
that.
there's anything wrong with that.
No, you said it on the podcast. You recorded it. It's canon now.
Fuck.
Smoke from California's fast-moving wildfires is visible from space.
Man, those fires are crazy.
That is
Watching-
crazy. It's a crazy time
Literally
like that.
watching the world burn.
Yeah, anyone, any of our listeners in California, we got a ton down there. Make sure you're staying safe. All our well wishes are going out to you guys. Anyone that's evacuated, but it's crazy. You can look at the satellite photos of just the insane amount of smoke coming out of Northern California.
Yeah, man, it seems like fire season should be over, but nope.
Fire
think
don't
it's-
care about seasons.
Nope. It doesn't give a
Fire
fuck.
don't give a shit.
No, it's like it's a little different there than I think here. It's just like, what is it, 20 degrees there? It's like fuck cold and rainy here now.
Yeah, it just doesn't ever rain, I guess. It's such fucking so dry. One little spark and then massive winds and the whole thing just explodes.
We got the mystery U.S. space plane lands, ending its 2-year mystery mission.
The X-37B.
Was it flying for 2 years? Like it was in the air for 2 years?
Yeah, it was up,
Unmanned space mobile.
just floating around,
Floating
doing
around.
whatever secret
But they
stuff
don't
it's
know
doing,
what it was
poking the Black
doing.
Knight or whatever. I don't know, whatever it's doing up there.
Poking the space blanket.
Space blanket.
So a lot of people say the Black Knight is.
Space blanket.
Yeah, that's how you debunk that one. There was a mission and they lost a space blanket and it was stuck in orbit and they took one picture of it, but it actually it fell down a few weeks later and it's been a anomaly ever since. No one can really find it anymore.
It's a space quilted blanket is the official.
Not a quilted blanket, like one of those foil blankets. Some type of
That's
wrap.
what you take to space is the quilted blanket.
Well, I don't know. I've never been.
standard issue NASA. Standard
That's what I
NASA
was thinking.
issue.
Like, the
quilted
little
blanket.
diamond, the like with the little diamonds everywhere. That's what I was thinking in my head.
Anyways, this is the X-37B. That's what it looks like.
Right, unmanned aerial craft. It's actually the second one. I don't think it's not the first one. That's the second one. But that one broke the record for being the longest in orbit. Just up there doing stuff. I think it was actually doing some experiments and stuff. I think there were reports that it was doing mostly kind of it's top secret, but mostly it was like testing out the capabilities of the certain materials that it was made of, and just seeing what the wear and tear is like on an unmanned spacecraft. If you left it up there that long, what would happen to it?
It doesn't really look like that fancy of a craft. Like it kind of looks like a small, like old space shuttle. It's like, what do you think it is? 30 feet long?
Oh,
I think it's bigger than that.
Well,
Probably 100,000 candy bananas.
let me tell you something for Pod Week. That's all
It's our
we're
standard
that's all
of
we're
measurement
eating.
now.
I put in a bulk order of candy bananas for Pod Week.
Everybody's gonna look jaundiced after.
We'll just be fucking puking our guts out. I'll have diabetes and shit.
I'd rather play fucking Ouija than eat McCormick's candy bananas.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
That's the
Don't
truth.
badmouth our only sponsor, unofficial.
Unofficial sponsor.
What? I thought Octavia Vodka backed out.
Yeah, they've been out.
Hey.
They've been out for 5 years.
Yeah.
They've never been in.
You know what? You know what? As I'm driving through, I should stop by my uncle's distillery and be like, "Hey, we need some more Octavia vodka for the podcast."
100%, man. Last time we got
What
into
was
that,
it?
it was magic.
What was it called? It was like it had the best tagline too. It was like
Embracing something of the night.
Yeah.
of the night, yeah,
like-
with the fire of the night or some shit. It's awesome.
People are going to think we're taking
Octavia
ads, but
vodka.
if you haven't listened, that goes way back to the early days.
Yeah, that was like podcast number 3, probably between 3 and 7, 100%.
I don't know. It was, yeah.
Any other
Early.
space news?
Yeah, NASA releases a Halloween pumpkin in a version of the sun. Show you guys. It's just a picture of the sun that looks kind of like a jack-o'-lantern. But it's pretty cool.
Like, is that a real or they like edited it?
I'm sure that's heavily edited, but it looks cool.
Nope, 100% real.
Fucking badass.
Sun is a
It does look
jack-o'-lantern.
cool.
Our sun is actually a giant pumpkin.
It looks cool.
The great
Ooh.
pumpkin.
It looks like a smiling pumpkin, smiling jack-o'-lantern. I don't know what the picture was snapped by the Space Agency's Solar Dynamics Observatory satellite and shows the sun in ultraviolet light. So that's, yeah, definitely not visible. So looks cool though.
I wonder if people who work at the solar observatories ever take the chance to just be like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" "Oh, I stare at the sun all day."
Probably
Oh,
that's probably the only joke they
100%.
make, Dan.
God, I just like the whole place just groans. You just hear them all like,
100%. Any other space news, boys?
That's all I got.
Well, let's get into topic at hand. Halloween. It's that time of year, the spooky season.
Halloween.
super spooky. Right?
Not so much, but
That's how my Halloween works. I don't know.
yeah.
Dan just
Ah.
says super spooky.
American Halloween is different from Canadian Halloween. Ours is spookier.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
the only thing different is our Halloween costumes always suck, so we have to wear jackets over top of them.
Yeah. Jackets over top or like
Spider-Man with a jacket.
Yeah.
yeah. You can go as the Michelin Man or like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Pretty
And
much.
that's about it. Everything else looks ridiculous. It's too
Sounds about
cold.
right.
But Dan, why don't we run through where did it get its origins? So we're doing
Well-
the origin story. of
Well, the
Halloween
origins of
origins.
Halloween go back hundreds, if not thousands of years, hundreds of years. The original holiday was actually considered Halloween falls on October 31st, which for many Celtic cultures, from where it comes from, usually.
First off, I love how you gave the date. Just so everyone's aware.
Well, you don't know. Maybe some people don't know after October 31st. But I'm saying October 31st was generally considered the end of summer for some, for a lot of Celtic cultures. It's the end of summer and kind of the beginning of the fall, winter kind of.
Yeah, it's like the end of the light season and the start of the dark season. They kind of talked it as.
Yeah.
From now on, there's less light than darkness.
Right. So, the original holiday was called Samhain. Now, Samhain at that time was the kind of they would have a festival where they would have kind of the summer bounty that they had from all their harvests and things like that. So people would kind of occasionally make sweets or types of food and things like this. And, people would come together. It was considered also a time when they call it like a liminal time, where the veil between the spirit world and the living world was at one of its like thinnest. So people would kind of have this belief that, relatives who had passed on could come back and visit. Spirits, sprites, fairies, those kinds of things could be sighted around this time of year. And so it kind of lends itself to kind of that spooky stuff kind of starts all around then. So now, because Christianity loves to make its holidays around everybody else's holidays,
there's actually a Christian holiday around that time, or the Catholic Church has its All Souls Day and its All Saints Day, which originally I think it was only All Saints Day, but then they broke it into two at some point. And so All Souls Day or All Saints Day falls on like October 31st, like, and like November 1st is All Saints Day, or it's November 1st and November 2nd. And basically they kind of ended up like merging the two holidays. So you would have them kind of celebrate in the same way that's kind of how it became popular in other places besides just in like Celtic regions, is that you would have it kind of coincided with that idea that All Saints Day you celebrate the people who passed on, who were, baptized Catholics, whereas All Souls Day was a time to honor all the people who were stuck in purgatory, which is weird, kind of.
Now purgatory is like not quite hell, but it's like somewhere in the middle. Not quite as fiery, but half the
it's kind of just the meh. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's not eternal happiness, not eternal damnation, just eternal meh.
Meh.
The DMV between heaven and hell.
But you're stuck there forever.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Well, I guess same. So for a long time, it was only really the Halloween that we recognize today, the whole trick-or-treating, all that stuff didn't really actually come around until
Big Candy took over.
Till Big
Candy.
Until Big Candy took over. Which is
Okay,
technically
hold on. Time out.
Time
Can
out.
we go back and rename this case file 114 Big Candy?
That was my jumping off point for this whole episode, where I was like, you know what? I bet fucking Halloween is just a conspiracy to sell more fucking candy, just like Valentine's Day.
It's all Big
Valentine's
Candy.
Day isn't a fucking real holiday. It's like, how did they figure this? How did they pull this one? So that's what I tried to look into first, and but I did find out some fun stuff about this, that actually candy was never really considered a gift to give out during like All Souls Day, All Saints Day. Candy companies never really thought of Halloween as their big moneymaker holiday. Before, say like the 1950s, the big candy holidays were Christmas and Easter. Those are the two biggest candy kind of days. And it wasn't until like the 1950s, after the point where, as Andrew so eloquently put it, Big Candy, succinctly put it, Big Candy figured out how to produce candy in the quantities where it was, cheap to make, and you were able to make a lot of it. So,
Wait, okay, I got a question. So it went from like All Saints Day into All Souls Day. It was like a 3-night, 2-day event. How do we get to what's Halloween? Why Halloween?
Well, I'm just saying that it was easy for them to kind of the holidays line up. So when the Christians kind of like, they didn't get rid of, it wasn't like some pagan holidays where they totally got rid of some of them.
They absorbed
They
it.
kind of all took them over. They kind of absorbed, what they like to do is they like to absorb the holidays. You have your Christmas, which kind of lined up with Saturnalia, which was like a Roman pagan holiday. And then you have other days like, and also, what was the other big holiday? Like Easter, I think lined up with like the springtime festivals. It's not really the day. Like those days aren't the real days of when, like religiously, the religious significant events that they base them on or didn't actually happen on those days.
Right.
Kind of most of them are just, they used them to kind of bring people over. Like, hey, join Team Jesus.
All right, I answered my question when I did a quick search here. So those 3 days, All Saints Day and into All Souls Day, was like done by like Christianity, also referred to as All Hallow Tide.
Ooh.
And then so it became like you had like Hallows Eve, blah blah blah, and then it slowly morphed into Halloween. I guess is how we came to the name Halloween. That's what I was kind of wondering, like why Halloween,
yeah.
right? And then the origin of the candy was something done by like the church. It was called souling, and I guess people would go and like get cakes door to door, and then they would think that if they prayed enough, they would be able to raise souls into heaven, and that's where the first. Like it wasn't called trick or treating, but they called it souling. It was about it was like the mid 1500s. So they would go around, like, it wasn't just beggars, but a lot of beggars would go around and be like, like I'm hungry. But if you give me this, I'll pray for your dead and I'll try and raise them to heaven. And then eventually it kind of took off. And then probably, drunk people probably took it over.
Well, it was all started by
the Celtic,
Reverend fucking Nestle.
Yeah, I read about the Celtic Samhain traditions, and some of them were also, they involved like giving gifts and people going from house to house. And also, like, that day was kind of considered a day for pranking. It was a time for like to be silly and play tricks on people. So that was kind of like where the trick part came from.
Right.
I suppose. I think there's also a lot of stuff that, like, there's a lot of mix up, because I read a couple, more than a few articles about the origins of Halloween, and a lot of like the kind of small details differ a lot. So there's kind of a lot of, there's a lot of wiggle room as to like the origins, but I think Samhain is like the big one, and then All Souls Day, All Saints Day, and then you get Hallows Eve. That's where we get Halloween from.
And then 1500s is where it slowly starts to morph into like the more modern Halloween.
Mm-hmm. And then so back to like the 1950s, where the candy companies figure, okay, we can make enough candy. How can we kind of start giving it out during Halloween? So I read that like when they started doing the Halloween packaging kind of ideas, like making their candy wrappers and stuff like that kind of fit in kind of like a fall or an autumn motif. They actually didn't even do it for customers. They did it more for stores, like the stores to buy them, to buy these things. And then, so you had people really handing out these candies and stuff. But before like the 1970s, so like for like 20 years, people, at least from the articles that I read, like people were just handing out whatever. It was like, you could hand out toys, you could hand out like popcorn balls, you could hand out freaking, if you're really shitty, you hand out toothbrushes, I suppose. They would hand out anything. At one point, like Kool-Aid was the cool thing to hang out. So you could like hand out like packets of Kool-Aid.
Just like a cup of, I thought you just meant like, here's a cup of Kool-Aid, kid.
No, a handful. Like you would use a handful.
Hands
like you just dip your hand in there and throw it in there.
Powder in your hands.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it.
No sugar, just fucking Kool-Aid powder.
But yeah, for like till about around like the 1960s, 1970s, that's what they would do. You would just give anybody anything. It wasn't until I guess like the 1970s that individually wrapped candy became a thing, because there started the urban legend. That's around where people trace that urban legend that people were putting razor blades or fucking arsenic in their candies. And I think one of the main events that caused that was, they said there was an actual story. There was an actual like altercation where they caught this lady putting arsenic in some of her candy, and that she was planning to give out to teenagers who weren't supposed to be trick-or-treating. They were too old to be trick-or-treating.
She's like, ooh,
no chance. No chance. That was fucking all made up by somebody's parent to fucking just dabble in their candy. I gotta test it. I gotta make sure there's no fucking poison in there.
That's what happened.
I think there was
Robo
also
used to
this.
just take a little cut of his own.
Oh, always.
That was the dad tax. Right? The dad tax of like, these ones are tainted.
Yeah, you can have the fucking crispy crunches. That's it.
Yeah.
I love crispy.
Not crispy crunch. It's a coffee crisp. Fuck coffee crisp.
I love coffee crisp.
Really? Ooh.
Okay, hold on. Now that we're on the subject of big candy, I want to talk about a conspiracy that's happening right now. It started last year. I noticed it last year.
Real-time conspiracy.
It's getting out of control. Last year,
let's hear it.
The like Nestle like 120 packs, which has the Aero, the Kit Kat, the Smarties, the Coffee Crisp.
Ew, fucking Smarties, gross.
Last year started with the Aero bar. The Aero bar is now smaller than it's ever been before.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's big candy for you.
Big fucking candy.
This year I noticed they're no longer giving out the full-size Reese's peanut butter cups.
The mini ones now?
Now they're giving the fucking Easter-size ones out.
Fuckers.
The little tiny ones?
They're big candy is slowly crawling back on our candy sizes.
Same price?
And if we don't do something right now, Soon we'll just be eating like fucking little M&Ms and little Smarties. That's it. That's what
Individually
they want.
wrapped
We gotta
fucking
stop this
M&Ms.
shit right now.
If there's one movement that you need to be in on right now, it's the fight against Big Candy,
Yeah.
taking away our candy.
Fuck Big
unbelievable.
Pharma. It's all about Big Candy.
Yeah, we're switching our stance.
Let's be honest.
We're all against Big Candy now.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Charging
Like
us the
Nestle
same
packs-
price. Same price for the small candy. What's next?
Yeah, they're crawling back the side where the prices aren't dropping.
No, they're not. They're
Nope.
getting more expensive.
More expensive. Less chocolate. It's insane. What's next? Kit Kat? We're only gonna get a single Kit Kat next year. You
get
watch.
a kit. You get a kit
You're
or
gonna
a
get a
cat.
kit
You don't
or
get
a
both.
cat. Separately. Give
Separate
me separately in
wrappers.
there. Yeah, separate wrappers. It's gonna be
It's,
unbelievable.
you know what? No, it's between it's some unholy alliance between Big Candy and Big Plastic because they want
Yeah.
those fucking make those more fucking wrappers. That's what it is.
Bastards. All the
Unbelievable.
bigs get together here.
But that's my candy conspiracy.
That's
rant.
a real conspiracy.
I noticed it this year. It was driving me absolutely crazy. Every time I crunch into, I'd like look at the arrow and I'd be like, man, arrows used to be so full. Now they're like two little nipples. of
That's probably
chocolate.
the realest conspiracy we fucking talked about on this podcast.
It is.
That shit hits home,
100%.
man.
And the crazy thing to me is I'm like, because they're doing it slowly, like one chocolate at a time, they're trying to make it seem like we don't even notice.
Slowly
'Cause,
pulling
like,
it.
They could easily, like, I guarantee you the coffee crisp is a little smaller than I'm gonna save a coffee crisp this year. I'm gonna save one of each, and I'm gonna measure for next year. That's it.
I'm holding you to
Put
that.
some size.
I want to see you store a whole box of this year's candy in your closet for a year and not eat it.
It'll last a week.
Done. I bought one of those 120 packs at the beginning. I bought them for like Costco, and I was like,
It's gone.
oh, I'm gonna buy this now to give out to kids. And I didn't eat it for 2 weeks, and I crushed it. I think there's like a couple
in a
Smartie
night.
packs left.
She's gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she gone. She gone. They're
Those
so
are like the good candies too. I swear to God, if any of our listeners, if you guys fucking give out candy corn, I hate candy corn.
I'll take.
If you
I'll
give
take
if
all
you
the
give
candy
out candy
corn.
corn to kids, I hope your house gets haunted so fucking hard. Like that shit is gross.
Hey Dan, let me tell you. Give me the candy corns. Give me the
I like
Candy corn's
marshmallows.
gross.
Give me anything.
Like
I like
nasty.
the candy corn. I like them too.
What?
Candy corns are fucking
See,
good,
I was
man.
like,
Might as well just eat a fucking candle because that's what it tastes like. Just
Are you
fucking
kid-
wax.
You guys' houses are gonna get fucking egged.
This is unbelievable. Send all your candy corn to Meteor Studios in Kelowna, BC, and I will take all of it.
Yeah.
Gross.
I won't even test them.
Gross.
If you whatever, just send them. Send them in an envelope. Doesn't matter. Delicious candies.
All right, like, so where did we talk about yet where costumes come from? Why is everyone dressing up all the time?
Yeah, let's go through some of the traditions. Costumes. So the first.
With the costume stuff, that still also comes from Sam Hain. Like Sam Hain was a time to kind of dress up as like people would dress up as certain spirits or things like that. So I mean that's just always kind of been around, people dressing up like ghosts or you know people who are ghosts, spirits, whatever.
Yeah, well,
I mean-
yeah, it was that. At the same time, too, like if you go to the more modern side, at like the same as like when they were doing the cakes at the doors, people would dress up in black. So it started with like black robes and black costumes, kind of more in the dead. As far as I could go back, that's kind of in the modern times.
It's more creepy than fucking costumes.
Yeah,
A
so
bunch
you-
of fucking people showing up at my door with a bunch of black robes on.
asking for fucking
Yeah,
cakes.
I had read that they like people would dress up so that wandering spirits and stuff would mistake them for one of their own and leave them alone.
Ooh, that's kind of freaky, actually.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Right?
Leave them alone or take them
That's-
away with them. Like
You dress up
Well,
as
no,
a
because
fucking.
if you're
dress
it's
up,
like when you dress if you're a zombie and you like in zombie apocalypse and you dress like a zombie, they leave you alone because they don't want
I don't
zombie
think that
blood.
works. I think that's totally inaccurate. in
Bill
movies.
Murray did
I
it.
think they try to pull that shit, and I'd be like, "You're stupid.
No,
you get
Bill-
eaten."
you get eaten
Worked
for
for
sure.
Bill Murray in Zombieland.
He-
Doesn't work with fucking. How come it doesn't work with fucking bears or sharks? Try that with fucking them.
I think they got a little better nose than the zombies. I think there, Dan.
Yeah. I don't know if there's ever been a situation of a man dressed as a bear getting attacked by a bear. Just saying, Dan.
I'm sure
wait.
there's out there. I'm gonna look it up.
Man dressed as bear.
It's mauled by
attacked
bear.
By
It's
bear.
mauled by bear. I don't think that's a headline because I think it fools the bears.
And
I don't think so.
Attacked by bear. It's got to be. It has to happen.
There's been there's been 4 idiots since human history who have had the same conversation, and one of them has ended up in a bear suit.
Well,
in the woods.
If there was, it didn't make the news, or at least I can't find it right away.
Because nobody's stupid enough to dress up like a bear and then go try and hang out with a bear.
I think dressing up like a bear to hang out with other bears, or just not dressing up like a bear and hanging out with bears is just as fucking stupid.
Yeah,
those guys always end up getting eaten.
You shouldn't hang out with a bear. Everyone knows that.
No.
Yeah.
Even there are the one videos those guys that hang out with the rescue bears. Those are kind of cool.
Yeah, but don't they always end up dying?
Fucked up too every now and then. It doesn't matter. We're not fucking with bears and we're not fucking with ghosts. Either one of them. It's not helping. But it's crazy to me that like that was a thing. Is like that's how it started, and people like I wonder if there was ever like a legit like you need to dress up to fool the ghouls and the ghosts on this day, or they're gonna fucking fuck you up. Like that was
I think it was more fun. Like I think it was. Of course, I can't speak for like
I don't know, man. You got weird
medieval
people
Celtic people
showing up in robes, asking for cakes, calling it All Hallows Eve. Like that's fucking spooky shit.
People are superstitious. I mean, I bet you they originally probably believed it pretty hard. Maybe not.
Spooky.
Okay, what about some other stuff about Halloween? What about
everybody's favorite jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah, where does
about where they come from?
The story of Stingy Jack.
Stingy Jack. It's actually a pretty good story.
It's a pretty funny story.
So the legend of Stingy Jack is where we get our jack-o'-lanterns from. Now, in this story, Stingy Jack is a character who is popular in Celtic mythology-ish, legend, lore, whatever. And this guy was kind of known as your roustabout, your kind of trickster guy that nobody really liked to have around and all that kinds of things. So legend goes that he was out drinking one night and apparently met the devil, and he told the devil to turn himself into a coin to pay for his drinks. And then after that, he would sell his soul to the devil, something to that effect. So the devil is like, okay, yeah, this is easy. So he turns into a coin to be spent on drinks, and Stingy Jack takes the coin, puts it in his pocket next to a silver cross, which traps the devil as a coin. Because I guess if you trap him next to a silver cross, the Lord of Evil is completely powerless. So once he carries him around for a while, he tells the devil, he's like, okay, I will let you out. I will release you as long as you leave me alone for a year. Like, don't bother me for a year. So devil says, okay, devil agrees, lets him out. Then the next year, the devil comes back. And so Stingy Jack tells him, oh, what is it? Did you guys read the legend too?
Well, I read a different, I'm not sure if this is the one you're talking about, the one where he tricks a devil up the tree.
Right, that's the second part. That's where he climbs the tree.
Stingy Jack, he tricks the devil up the tree. And while the devil's up the tree, he puts crosses around the tree.
I've heard 2 versions where it's like crosses around the tree, or he carved a cross, the sign of the cross, into the tree.
I don't know. I read.
It's like the same. It's the same effect. The devil gets stuck up in the tree, and he can't come down. And Stingy Jack says that I will only let you down if you promise not to take my soul when I die. And so the devil, yes, agrees. And so Stingy Jack, gets out scot-free. But what happens is he ends up dying. And when he gets to the pearly gates of heaven, heaven says, no, we don't want you. You're an asshole. Like, nobody likes you.
You lived a shit life.
You lived a shitty life. We don't want you here. And so I don't know why you would do this, but he goes down to hell and he says, well, okay, like they wouldn't let me into heaven. You should let me in here. And the devil says, nah, fuck you, dude.
Kick rocks, brother. Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. But for your troubles, the devil gives him a red hot coal to carry around to light his way in the land of the dead.
Throws him a hellfire coal.
Right. So in order to have something to carry the coal around in, the only thing that Stingy Jack actually was partial to turnips. So he hollowed out a turnip and he put the coal inside. And so he would carry around this turnip with the coal inside. And so that's the origin of the jack-o'-lantern, is that ancient Celtic people used to use turnips, not pumpkins. They used to use turnips.
Zell, pull up a picture of a Halloween turnip, because they are the fucking stuff.
Halloween.
They are way better than jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh man, they look like shrunken voodoo heads.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Terrifying, man.
Oh my God. What is this thing?
Yeah, throw one of those up.
Here,
for
let's see what we
everyone
got
who's
here.
watching us live. They are, the little shrunken voodoo heads. They're terrifying. Like, they're absolutely horrendous.
That's one
Look
of
like
them.
little Groots.
It's a little. Yeah, it does look like a fucking little Groot.
Like
Little
evil Groot.
Baby Groot heads, man.
Scary Groot.
Terrifying.
There's some eviler ones. Let's find a better one than that.
Like, how did we ever get from that to carving ass pumpkins?
Yeah, they're super gross.
So here's my question: does the devil ever win? Like, he fucking lost the fiddle battle.
Yeah.
No,
he lost the
did
pick of
win. He didn't have to
destiny.
keep fucking Stingy Jack in his fucking hellscape or whatever.
Well,
Yeah, but he lost.
That
He got
doesn't
pushed into
sound
a
like
tree,
that.
so he lost
yeah,
originally.
He's playing the long game.
That's fair. I don't know.
Look at these fucking turnips, man. These are
They're look at that.
devilish.
Ugh. So these are the original jack-o'-lanterns. It wasn't until Irish immigrants came over to the United States and discovered pumpkins and realized, like, hey, these are way better and cuter looking than these fucking monstrosities that we used to make.
Well, you know who started the fucking jack-o'-lanterns, right? Like the pumpkins.
Big pumpkins.
Big pumpkin.
Big pumpkins.
Fucking big pumpkin, man.
Nailed it.
It's
I
true.
think
Bringing
it's,
it all together.
Hey, you know what?
Bringing
It's
it all
true.
together.
There's a fucking huge. I wonder how many millions of dollars the pumpkin industry is, and all people.
I heard that those pumpkins, they're decorative pumpkins. I thought they were like just regular pumpkins, but they're actually decorative
They're a
pumpkins.
special
made just for
GMO
that.
form of pumpkin that's just made for
All right.
carving.
I mean,
Let's
you
get
can
into
eat them.
let's get into some big pumpkin here.
All right.
I just went to a
Realistically,
pumpkin patch.
We should be calling it just Big Farm instead of Big Pharma and Big
Just big-
Pumpkin.
Oh,
It
Big
should just
Farm.
Big
Yeah,
Farm.
100%.
It's Big
100%
Farm.
Big Farm, dude.
Just-
I went into Big Farm on the weekend. I posted a video of a trebuchet hurling pumpkins.
Trebuchet.
Dan.
Trebuchet.
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 Trebuchet?
Potato potato.
You spelled it wrong.
Did I spell it wrong too?
You did spell it wrong.
That often happens on social media for us. We don't spell check.
That's autocorrect.
We don't spell check.
Yeah, I've
Too
been
cool for
corrected a few times.
Yeah, so there's a lot of grammar police out there that'll let you know.
The comfort of your favorite seat is now your comfy car selling command center, thanks to Carvana.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Your favorite seat's the best spot in the house. Make it even better by entering your license plate or VIN and getting a real offer in minutes.
There really is no place like home.
And speaking of home, Carvana will pick up your car from yours after you finalize your offer. Visit Carvana.com or download the app and sell your car from your comfy place.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.
They said
It
that
encourages
they
interaction.
raised $17,000 for charity up to the date when I had gone from the fall. So they're only open for people like mid-September to, I'm guessing, around Halloween. They just grow a shit ton of pumpkins. Everyone comes, you pick out pumpkins. They've got a pumpkin slide. They've got pumpkin pies. They throw pumpkins on the trebuchet or whatever. Dan.
Pumpkin, they call it pumpkin chunkin'.
And pumpkin chunkin'. And they had
Chunkin'?
raised $17,000 from each ticket sold when you go in, and that's just a ticket. They have concessions. It's $10 to get a chunk of pumpkin.
Chunk of pumpkin.
Chunk of pumpkin.
Chunk it or
and
chuck
then-
it?
It's
It's-
pumpkin chunkin', and you
Pumpkin
chunk a
chunkin'.
pumpkin.
Chuck it or
it's-
chunk
that,
it?
That costs $10.
The fuck is
That's not
chunking a
included
pumpkin?
in that's not included in the price. $17,000 just from admission. So $1 from each person's admission goes towards charity. And when the day I was there, there was a sign that said they had raised $17,000, and I was like, $17,000. I was like, holy shit! The money they're raking in on pumpkins. I was like, this is crazy.
Big pumpkin. Big farm,
baby.
Big farm, man.
Big farm, baby. It's insane. And what else? Name one other time. I don't see a pumpkin. I won't see another pumpkin from like November 15th until next fall.
I don't know.
Not one. Name one other use for a pumpkin.
Well, you can make pumpkin pie.
Ugh.
Yeah, but pumpkin
But you
pie
need
is
like,
in the fall,
but
man.
it's not those
Thanksgiving.
pumpkins. Like those aren't the pumpkins you use to make pumpkin pie. You use a different type of pumpkin.
Well,
Listen, you're not
those big
having
orange
pumpkin
ones.
pie in
For
May.
sure.
If you are, you're a psycho.
I'm having pumpkin pie any chance that is available
You're a
to me.
fucking nightmare person.
Yeah, I get you're having it any chance you get, but I'm telling you, those chances are limited between September and December.
I'm telling you right now, I can go to the pie store any day of the week and get a pumpkin pie.
I've never fucking tried it. I don't
you can buy
have any
pumpkin pie.
reason
Again,
to
it comes
try
from
it.
that the
Wait,
canned stuff that they
hold
just mush
on.
down in there.
Hold on, you never had a pumpkin?
Fuck no. If every time anyone's ever come up to me, like, hey man, would you like to try a slice of this delicious pumpkin pie? The last thing I ever fucking put together is delicious and fucking pumpkin. Pumpkin does not look good, smell good, anything to do with it. Looks looks disgusting.
How do you know if you never tried a pumpkin pie? How do you know you don't like it?
Because pumpkins are just they're not going to
It
taste
doesn't.
good.
It doesn't even look or
Not a chance.
smell
They're
or
not
taste
good.
anything.
It doesn't even taste like pumpkins.
It doesn't taste like pumpkin at all.
Then why is it a pumpkin pie?
Because it's made.
I don't know
from
because it
pumpkin
tastes like
puree.
pumpkin, some sort of pumpkin spice. It smells like a pumpkin, maybe.
It's like
Fucking
cinnamon
weird,
and
man.
brown sugar, and you blend it up and make this pumpkin puree, and you make this delicious pie.
It's only good with whipped cream or ice cream, though. If you have it by itself, it's god awful.
There you go. Fuck that. No thanks. I'd rather have a fucking like apple pie or some shit. Apples are good. You're
nothing-
never gonna fucking pick a fucking pumpkin and take a nice big juicy bite out of it. Fuck that.
True.
You heard it.
I mean, they don't taste bad. They just taste like squash. Like they are a squash, so
Yeah.
it just tastes like squash.
Squash is fucking
Sometimes-
gross.
Squash is
Yeah,
good.
but you're not fucking spaghettiing a pumpkin.
Exactly.
You could.
Spaghetti squash is
Right?
bomb.
You're not having some like shredded pumpkin pasta.
But technically, it is a pumpkin. I mean, it's the squash it's squash.
It's a pumpkin squash. Same shit.
You could do like, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it would like spaghetti out like the spaghetti squash.
Listen, I get what Andrew's saying. They're garbage. They're garbage pies. But what I'm saying is, you can only get them in the fall.
You're incorrect. So incorrect. It's unbelievable.
All right.
Well,
you know
it's
what,
the only
dude?
time
I
they're
want you to
useful.
listen to me. I want you to go next May. Write it down. Get a pen out. Write it down. I want you to
Okay.
go in May, spring break, and I want you to walk into Save On and go, "Give me a pumpkin pie." They're gonna look at you and be like,
Why does it have to be?
"Fucking
Why does it have to
pie?"
be? Why does it have to be Save On? Why can't I just go somewhere else?
Okay, any pie place.
Any pie
Mark
place.
it down. Mark it down.
Can it
Your
be-
rights.
You can't even get.
May
Have you
2020.
never heard of a frozen pie?
You can't even get fucking pumpkin spice frappalappa fucking chinos.
Yeah,
any other
there's
time
no
than
way,
now.
dude.
Like, that's-
it's a. I'm telling you, it's strictly a fall thing.
Okay, wait a second.
Strictly a fall. What about Christmas?
Yeah,
okay,
people have
I
pumpkin
said
pies in Christmas.
September, December. You can get pumpkin pies.
What about Easter?
When's Easter?
April?
April?
Yeah, you get a fucking
Do
pumpkin
you
pie
eat
at Easter.
pumpkin pies?
No,
April?
I don't think so.
Andrew, you don't
I
know
don't
shit
think
about
so.
pumpkin
I
pie.
don't think so.
Anyways, pumpkin pie. It's a heated,
Part of Halloween.
heated topic around here. We'll put
Talk
we'll
about,
put the, we'll
talk
put the
about
spring
Big Farm here.
we'll put the spring pumpkin pie with the box of Halloween candy you're gonna store in your closet and measure it to next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna weigh it too because I guarantee they're fucking micro screwing us.
Well, I agree 100%. If they're not giving you a full Reese cup anymore, that's some bullshit. Kids
That's unbelievable.
are getting ripped off this Halloween. I'm not buying any extra though to give the kids any to make up for it. I'm not taking the fall for big candy.
Let's be honest. There's a lot of diabetes going around right now in our youth. It's probably a good thing.
You know, it probably is. Well, that's fine. If they want to do it for health reasons, let us know and then charge
Make
us
sure you wash your
accordingly.
hands, folks. You don't want you getting any diabetes this year, this season. Get your diabetes
It's very
vaccinations.
contagious.
Yeah, don't touch the children.
Don't
They're
touch them.
covered in
They're
diabetes.
gross.
Should we get into for Halloween here? Should we get into a little spooky story?
Spooky. You have to say it like that.
Sorry. Should we?
Sorry, Dan.
Let's recut that. Should we get into a spooky story?
There you go. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Dan sent me the story of David Stone. It's a good one to go through. So, like, we talked about a little bit of the origins of Halloween, pumpkin pie, big farm, big candy. Let's get into a little spooky story. Dan, who is David Lawrence Stone, and why is this interesting Halloween story?
Yeah, I brought this one up because I was kind of skipping around and I was looking at kind of like strange things that happened around Halloween. Now, because Halloween is a creepy time of year, a spooky time of year, as some people would say. You try to look up kind of weird stuff. You always kind of hear that myth that, like, and maybe it's not a myth. Some people have said it. Reports say it's a myth that there's no statistical correlation that says that more crazy things happen on Halloween because it's supernatural or anything like that. It's just people think it does. But there are a lot of weird stuff that has happened on Halloween. Now, for example, David Lawrence Stone was a successful stock market analyst from La Jolla, California, who at the time, friends of his and his family said that he was very into the kind of new age movement at the time, that kind of new age religion kind of stuff, that is still around today. A lot of it is still around today. But they were all kind of big into the kind of pyramid power and, spiritual enlightenment and all those kind of things. Stuff that's, again, still all around today. For years, it was reported that he had anger issues, and it kind of came to a head on October 28th in 1988, where he held a party at his apartment, and he got into an argument with one of his friends, and he actually began attacking this friend, like came to blows. After the altercation was over, David told his friends and family about his behavior and how it was unacceptable and what he was going to do. He's like, I need to go. He just said, I'm going to go on a walkabout to reflect on what he's done and his behavior. So he said he was just going to, take a trip and be back in a few days. And, so he took off to... the last time he was seen was in, this was like the morning of Halloween, 1988. He pretty much walked into the desert 145 miles east of Tucson, Arizona. And he was actually seen by a farmer walking down the dirt road at the time. And the farmer kind of said he had something strange to say. And when he asked him like what he's doing out there, David had said that he was looking for the beast. And then, local residents around that time said they had seen him around in the desert, kind of acting strangely. People were reporting him talking to himself, just walking through rough terrain at the time. And so about 5 days later, his car was found abandoned along a stretch of the New Mexico Highway 80, about 14 miles south of Road Forks. Now, David's family and stuff, they believe that he went on a vision quest, that he was kind of, he was into that kind of new age stuff, and that was what he was going to do. I guess it was common in the kind of circles that he was going into. People kind of went on these vision quests of what they felt or what they believed vision quest to be. When the police went to go look for him, they discovered a couple strange, mysterious kind of things that he seemed to have left behind after he vanished. It said that he left his car near some what seemed to be pyramid-shaped mountains, and in his movement, pyramids were a very important kind of symbol, the way that they are. I mean, they're a universal symbol for kind of enlightenment and stability and spiritual awakening and all those kinds of things.
Aliens,
of course.
Thank you.
My bad. Should have just put that in there. So they said that they tracked him northeast from where they found the car, and then toward what they said was Granite Peak. I don't know the area, so I'm not sure. But they found what he seemed to have constructed pyramids of rocks surrounded by a triangle. And then on the next day of searching, they found another pyramid, a second pyramid. And next to this one was David's watch, which reportedly was a Rolex watch. So it wasn't cheap. It wasn't something you just leave there. And then it was and 2 quarters. So 3 miles to the north of that, they found a string of numbers written to the sand. And when they examined on further examination, they realized that it's a Fibonacci sequence, so it's, each number starting at 1, add together and it gets the next one, right? 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 1 is 3, it keeps going like that. So of course you have, numerology. Fibonacci sequence is important in numerology. It's where we get our, it has relationships with the golden ratio, all those kinds of things. So again, those are all kinds of Fibonacci sequences also important in, like we said, like the pyramids. Like the pyramids are built to the golden ratio. They have those kinds of qualities with them.
Yep.
So now when David wrote his Fibonacci sequence, one of the numbers, when you get to it, is supposed to be 21, but he actually wrote 18. Strange. Something that wasn't supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Right. So they had bloodhounds, they had tracking dogs while they were searching for David, and they said that they tracked his scent back to Highway 80. However, they stopped at an intersection between Highway 80 and Interstate 10, and this was 13 miles north of where they had originally found his car. So after this, they pretty much found nothing. They had no more clues to go on. They didn't find the body at the time. The only other clue that they found was a person's business card in a pocketbook Bible that had belonged to David. And they found this man. His name was Tony Ballesteros, and they interrogated him. Police interrogated him, but he said he had never claimed David, and he had actually been camping in the area with friends because it was also a popular place to camp. There's a camping ground there. And he said that his card must have just dropped out at some point, and just as the guy had been walking through the campground, he must have just picked up the card and put it in there. One of the most strange things and creepy and spooky things
That's definitely spooky.
Spooky as fuck.
that of this case is that David left his parents, or David's parents said that they found a note that he had left, and it read something like this. They think the word is in the safe. 6 knives in Rob's room. Use buys your tea and use take your chances. Halloween.
What?
Yeah, and he just happened to vanish on Halloween, which
Wow, he
makes that
fucking-
note even eerier.
He paid the ferryman.
What?
He left
mean?
the 2 quarters. You got to pay the ferryman.
So they the case is unsolved. On February 23rd, 1992, 2 hikers found what they identified as David's skeletal remains near Granite Gap in New Mexico. But that's it. They said there was no signs of trauma. They said there was no obvious signs that he had been hurt or he had gotten injured or something like that. And police pretty much chalked it up to he had died of prolonged exposure to the outdoors. So pretty much what they said is death by misadventure.
I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
That's
So
the
he
best
went.
way to die.
He went on a vision quest. He called it, right?
Right.
So in my mind, this is what happened. Took about, I don't know, 20 grams of dried mushrooms. Got lost. Had a 14-hour trip. Passed out.
Died
was
from
it.
exposure.
Died from exposure. He
The problem is, like,
he vision
if you
quest
write
too
that-
hard.
That note is so weird, though. That note.
The note is weird.
And
Sounds
it's
like a guy
to
on
the parents.
mushrooms wrote it.
Yeah, maybe.
They think the word, and word is in capitals. They think the word is in the safe. 6 knives in Rob's room. Use buys your tea and use take your chances. Halloween.
So he took some mushrooms, turned himself into Schmeagol, and started fucking ready to know.
Schmeagol.
Maybe he was drinking some like ayahuasca tea or some shit, and that's why he's saying you buy your tea, take your chances.
Also, I got way too many
Oh,
looks.
yeah, that's even more powerful.
I got way too many weird looks when I reference the ferryman. Do you guys not know what that is?
Yeah, I didn't know
no,
what
I
that
didn't
was.
know what that was. That's
Greek
why
mythology. That's why they
squinted
put
really
the coins on your eyes when you die to pay the ferryman.
Oh, I see.
hard. Oh, okay, yeah,
Like
yeah.
to the underworld.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't get found with coins.
Yeah, didn't Dan, didn't you say there was 2?
No.
Holy fuck.
He left 2 quarters with his watch.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
2 quarters in a Rolex,
okay,
man.
2 quarters with the watch. He's well.
He probably took a fucking like a
A little
yacht.
pyramid.
Okay.
He built 2 pyramids. So I'm saying he built 2 pyramids. He was searching for the beast. I'm saying that he built the 2 pyramids, wrote down the Fibonacci sequence, wrote the wrong number, opened up a portal, boom. You know, his consciousness ascended to a higher level, left the meat suit here.
Off he went.
What happened?
It could have been. A lot of people say like powerful psychedelics that's the gateway to the next dimension. Maybe he just took just enough and he just actually got out. Okay, what was this guy's full name? David Lawrence Stone?
Stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you type that into Google, it was also a Catholic priest that convicted of child molestation. So 2 different stories. When I
2 different stories.
when I searched, I was like, wait, this is not what we're talking about.
If you type in David Stone disappearance, because it was on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. So,
I don't doubt it,
because it is unsolved.
but unsolved.
All right. Now, let's since this is a Halloween episode, we talked about origins of Halloween, you got a spooky story. Why don't we talk about some of the spookiest urban legends in each state?
What? Where did this?
We have to do all 50.
Where did this come from? All
I
right.
don't know. Dan sent me this thing and I was reading it, but I was like going through it and I
In
recognized
each
one. I was
state?
like, 'cause
We're gonna be here
in
for a
each state.
while.
we're not going through all 50.
Okay.
Right? I was gonna cherry pick a few.
Okay.
Like one is like I remember Zell, I think you were the first person to ever tell me this story about the Goat Man.
Good man.
I used to tell the story.
That's a Maryland thing. That's near me.
I used to tell the
Yeah,
story
that-
of Goatman so much when I was a little kid. I would make it. I would make it up every time and change it.
Yeah. let's hear your story of Goat. I remember the first time I heard Zell's tales of Goat Man, we were probably 9 years old.
I probably haven't told it until I was 9 years old.
Let's hear it again.
I don't remember.
Tale of
You're the
Goatman,
one. You're the
as
one telling me.
presented by
I'm gonna tell me the story of
9-year-old
Goatman. I don't remember the story of Goatman at all, to be honest.
I remember you telling me that it had to do with
Got caught in a log jam or something.
caught in a log jam. Yeah,
And
and they
he-
sewed goat's legs to
So
his.
Yeah,
make
crushes-
your best story of what you think Goatman is.
In a time.
Okay,
The,
okay, go ahead.
the year was 1922.
Ooh.
Michael Alexander was walking in a log jam when he tripped, submerging just below from his kneecaps down into a fast-moving stream where the logs pinched his legs together, crushing them violently, splitting them in 2. He crawled out. He crawled to the shore where he lay dying. What's it called when you? What's the technical term when you start losing all your blood?
Exsanguinate.
Started to exsanguinate on the side when a dark shadow appeared before him. Michael, he said, would you like to continue living? Michael couldn't speak, so the spirit said, I'll take that as a yes.
I'll assume yes.
So I will
Implied consent.
He slightly moved his eyes left to right. That's a yes.
one blink. Okay.
I'll tell you what, it's not. It's not a no.
It's not a no. For the rest of your life, in order to live, I'm going to sew these 2 goat legs. Don't ask how I got them. I'm going to sew them. I'm going to attach them to your body. But for the rest of your life, you will be alive, but all you can do is haunt the kids of these woods with your 2 twig-like goat legs. You can't jump though like a goat. You just you just hobble. You hobble poorly through the woods.
You hobble like a man
You hobble
who's
like
had
a
goat legs, sewn
like a
to
crippled man.
His own legs.
So you can never catch the kids you're haunting because you cannot run. And that's the story of Goatman.
That's very
was
similar
fucking great.
to what I remember as a kid haunting me at 9 years old. And I was like, "This is real," and he's like, "Yeah, I seen him. I seen it."
I
think is what he said.
seen the Goatman.
Would you make trotting noises when Braden fell asleep?
Yeah. He had the coconuts going.
I have no idea what the original story of Goatman is. I have no idea.
That was it.
That's
I
it.
think
All right,
that's
that's the new
That
tale
is
of
it.
Goatman.
That is now.
Yeah, that's
Let's
it.
go,
The
man.
guy
I'm not even gonna read what they say.
The guy blinked he blinked once and he condemned himself to an eternity of a shitty life, shitty legs.
A fucking shitty life with goat legs is better than no life. I'll take it.
I guess so.
I'll take
Wait,
it.
so he only had goat legs, he didn't have the goat head?
I don't remember. I have no idea. Could be anything.
No, the goat head's a common misconception.
Yeah.
Because you see the goat legs and then your imagination does the rest.
It's true.
Oh, right.
So he just hides in bushes with his like little hooves sticking out. He kind of
Yeah,
shakes a bit.
No, he does this. He hides behind the bushes that are waist high and he goes, "Hey kids. Hey fellow teenagers. You want to hang out?" And they're like, "Yeah, come over." And then he steps around and then they run because he's got goat legs.
goat head, I swear.
Yeah. And then he just, oh man, slumps back into the woods.
And that's I guess that's the story of Goatman. Put me on the spot there. I made one up there. So.
Spooky story of
I want to read, now that we know the true tale of Goatman,
right.
some other urban legends, some spooky urban legends that I'm going to cherry pick because they're my favorite. And just because of the names.
Okay.
Puck Wudgies.
The
Puck wedgies.
Yeah, Puck wedgies.
The Puck Wudgies. This is from Hockomock Swamp. What's MA? Maryland?
Massachusetts.
Tiny gray tricksters resembling humanoid porcupines will lure people off cliffs or trap them in the sand in the swampy regions of Massachusetts. That's a Puckwudgie.
Little bastards.
Everyone from
Puckwudgies.
Massachusetts, keep your eyes peeled for some Puckwudgies.
So is Puck wedgies on?
Dude, there's some good. I like this one. This is basically sounds like the story of I Know What You Did to Us last summer, but this one's called Cropsey. This is Staten Island. This escaped mental patient with a hook for a hand would snatch children in Staten Island. But the old legend became horrifyingly real when a killer named Andre Rand was caught in 1970s. Cropsey. It's not even fake. That's a real guy was just murdering
It's the
people
real
with a
murder.
fish. Just real murder. This one's a good one. Boo hags.
Are you saying
Boo
boo
hags?
hags? Or
Boo hags.
hags?
Boo.
Are you saying boo earns?
No, yeah, boo hags.
Boo eggs.
This is in the southern coastal region, SC. I think that's South Carolina.
What? Yeah, South Carolina.
Folklore tells us about evil souls who stay behind after death and become skinless, vampire-like witches
Ooh.
who take other people's skins for a ride.
Ooh.
Ooh, I think that was
boo
an issue of Hellboy.
You could-
Buffalo Bill
Boo
and them.
hags.
No, you could take that different ways. A ride. Is it like a spirits
Like
raping
possession?
people?
Like their
Like
skin.
Yeah, that's what I
Are we
assume.
talking Buffalo Bill or are we talking possession?
Ooh, I
Or
don't
sexual-
know.
No, they like
Sexual
take your
endeavor.
skin and they wear it
So they put the lotion on the skin.
and rip it off.
Gets the hose
So was
again.
was the beast from Jeepers Creepers a boo hag?
What? No, he didn't take skins. He took body parts.
Yeah, but I thought he had a skin suit at the end, and he like stands in it with the little eyes, looks at himself. In the
No,
mirror.
the eyes. He just takes the eyes. Like at the end of the first one, at least.
I skipped
He
that
takes
one.
skin,
That
he
one looked
takes body
fucking
parts.
Scary.
I got one. This one's great too. This is probably the most terrifying one. You get, okay, everyone ready?
More terrifying than Goatman?
It's nothing more terrifying than Goat Man.
The bunny thing. Or sorry, the bunny man.
Bunny Man.
On Halloween many years ago, a bus of transferring asylum inmates crashed, with one of the inmates escaping. For years, skinned, half-eaten rabbits were found hanging from the trees near Bunny Bridge. Even after the supposed culprit died, eventually he allegedly attacks humans too, bodies being strung up over the bridge. This is in Clifton. What's VA, Dan?
Virginia?
Virginia.
Virginia. That's Dan.
Oh,
That's
Dan!
where you are.
Dan is
Yeah,
the bunny
no,
man.
I know about the Bunny Man. Like I heard the Bunny Man story like back when I was in middle school, high school. I remember hearing about it. People would drive out to that bridge.
Why?
You could
Did
drive
they
out there.
really
It's not
see
that
Why
far.
tempt
I
fate
think
with
it's
the Bunny
either
Man?
45 minutes, like an hour away or something.
Don't fuck around with the bunny man.
I feel like the Bunny Man's just a cover up for
There's
Predator.
a couple movies. There's a couple movies about the Bunny Man.
Well, okay, I guess we could make one up right now that's real. That is in Rutland.
We'll make one up that's real. Okay.
No, it is real because we could call him the Catman.
Catman.
Russian.
I'm about 90% sure that the cat killer was fucking Tyler Stevens, the Rutland rapist.
I don't know if we can say his name, but
Why not?
It's too late.
Convicted.
It's too late. It's live.
It
it's
is
out.
true.
On
It's
there.
true.
Yeah.
Basically, well, no, dude, it's been gone. It went on for so long though when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Every
grew up with
couple
us.
months, there would be a string of just like someone who would, and it was like a human would mutilate cats and like hang them from trees and like
And stuff
fuck
them in
up people's
mailboxes.
lawns and stuff them in mailboxes in this like low income area of Kelowna called Rutland, and the news would be like Rutland cat killer strikes again.
Yeah.
It was trying times, man.
It was fucking crazy
It
for a
was
while.
trying
My mom was on
times.
edge.
Trying
Creepy
times to
as
be a
fuck.
cat.
Boots wasn't allowed outside for fucking 6 months.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
man.
terrifying. But so that's
That was a real thing.
real thing. That's a real thing. It's not. That's urban legend. Well, it could be. Who knows? It could be a fucking demon.
Could still be
killing
out there.
cats. We don't know for sure.
No one ever caught no one caught the cat killer.
He never confessed to the killings.
No, he didn't. But we're
I
pretty
think
sure.
he
it was him.
confessed to the rapes, but not the cat killings.
Wow.
He got convicted of the rapes.
He definitely
Well, I
did.
think he pled guilty, so he admitted the rapes, but
Yeah.
not the killings of the cats.
Nope.
We'll hold out our suspicions, but
Spookiest part about this is that he did it all while wearing a fucking Wendy's bag with holes for eyes.
yeah, with Wendy's, yeah.
No joke, man.
Oh,
Okay, here.
that was a cat killer wearing a Wendy's with
No.
a Wendy's bag.
The rapist, the
Oh,
Rutland
the
rapist.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a little fucking spooky story that's
Spooky
100%
story.
true. So I played on our local fucking football team called the Okanagan Sun, and right at the end of the year we got called in for this like emergency fucking team meeting, and all while this whole Rutland rapist fucking saga was going on. And we get there and they do a big announcement. And they're like, fucking, nobody's really, it hasn't been released yet, but Tyler Stevens, your fellow teammate, has been arrested and convicted of being a fucking the Rutland rapist. And like this guy's locker was right beside mine.
Ooh.
Like right beside mine. I've known this guy for years. The worst part about this is like fucking 4 months ago, I'm driving home from work. I worked at a bar. I was a busboy. I'm fucking, driving down the highway, fucking, it's 2:30 in the morning. And I like look to my side and I see my buddy fucking Tyler Stevens sprinting down the fucking street. And I slow my car up and I'm like, man, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just out for a run, man. I'm like, all right, man. Like, you want to ride? He's like, yeah, I'd love a ride.
Oh
So I drove him home.
oh,
no.
This, I feel like
He
I
was
was an
probably coming from
accomplice
a
to
rape.
Yeah, not good. Not good. He may have had a
So-
Wendy's bag in his hand, but I don't know.
he
Not sure.
this guy, it was like no one would have thought that because he was a big guy too, a big football player, because like there would be stories about like he would go to a bus stop and like grab a 14-year-old girl, and the 14-year-old girl would like kick the shit out of him and get away.
Yo, and he was like,
Everyone was like, he's a big dude.
well, he wasn't huge, but he was a starting safety on our football team, and it like
Yeah.
the league I played in, it was kind of like a feeder system for the CFL, so it's not like high level fucking football, obviously,
Good
because it's
football,
Canadian
though.
football, but it's
Still
like
good football.
it's a decent caliber for Canada. But like this kid is fucking like 6'1", fucking, just shy of 200, if not 200. Not only that though, like, so he's a brick shit house. He's also like a fucking academic fucking monster, like genius, setting records in fucking all throughout school for like grades for math and all that type of stuff. Like, but super big weirdo. He had this big,
Yeah,
this
because
big,
you're a fucking psychopath.
well, it was the weirdest thing because like you would think like football players, you're covered in bruises and stuff like that, but he'd show up and he was covered in scratch marks and bruises and the weirdest shit, and you'd always be like, what the fuck, man? And he'd be like, oh, my girlfriend, she's into some weird stuff, man. And you'd be like, oh,
And fucking
yeah,
catching
cool,
those cats.
man. Like, oh, it was the weirdest
Oh, it
thing.
was the cats, dude.
Oh,
I'm telling you, we put it all together, man.
that's fucked up.
Straight up.
Fucked up.
That's fucked up.
Scary thing is though, is he's actually out of jail, so he could listen to this and I might get fucking,
He doesn't know where you live.
I hope not. Well, he probably does. He probably fucking does. I remember there's a couple fucking like a year and a half ago. We like everybody, well, not everybody, but all the guys that played on the team, especially like the defensive backs that I played in the same position group as him. We all got like random Facebook fucking requests, and we're like, probably not gonna accept that one. Probably gonna fucking, yeah, no, thank you.
Postpone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go with that guy? If he asks, hey, want to go get some pussy? And it's just like,
Like
You guys want to go get some
Wanna go get
Wendy's? No thanks, man.
Junior
I'm
bacon
good.
cheeseburgers.
JBC's.
Give me. Can I keep the bag?
I keep the bag. Oh no. No.
That's that would have that would have been a hilarious Halloween costume in to go as just a Okanagan Suns, one of those sport jackets and a Wendy's bag with 2 eyeballs.
No one would get it.
it's topical.
It's only okay now to make these jokes. Like before, we weren't even allowed to mention this guy's fucking name. He was practically
No, dude,
fucking
it was-
Voldemort. I'm serious. Like
Things
we
were
weren't even allowed.
Things were tense. Things were tense in Kelowna when like all
So
that was
well,
going on.
imagine being
It was
on the
tense.
fucking team.
Yeah.
It was fucking bad, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. Anyways, what else? Anyway, we got anything else on Halloween?
We
Or
went to
real life freak
we went
this
we did
week, though?
we did a full spectrum Halloween Halloween cover
Yeah,
there.
this one was just about having fun.
a Halloween
we're going to
grab
be
bag.
back to our regular conspiracies and UFOs next week. We were just having fun for a little Halloween episode.
Yeah, if
this
you're
week.
if you're just listening to this now, like live, have a good
A little
Halloween.
spooky variety hour.
Have a good Halloween. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, hopefully you had a good Halloween and you didn't see Goatman.
And you didn't get any candy corn.
And
Or any boo hags.
if you got candy
any
corn,
Wendy's
if you
bags
got
of
candy
Doritos.
corn though, if you did get candy corn, make sure to send it to Meteor Studios, Kelowna, BC.
Yeah.
Gross. You can keep that with your pumpkin pies and coffee crisps.
Please don't lace it with arsenic, but it doesn't matter. Like I'll test it. Throw one to Andrew first. That's it. No, Halloween. It's a combination of like many generations of traditions. Oh, now it's run by Big Candy, but
Big Candy and Big Farm.
Big Candy, Big Farms.
Big plastic.
Yeah.
It's a moneymaker, and then
Farms, the trifecta.
Because
Big
plastic makes
plastic,
they make
big
the
farms,
costumes
big
too.
candy.
oh yeah,
Big costume.
big costume.
Oh, let's
awesome.
not talk. Let's not even start about big costumes.
Oh,
Let's, because we
You
could get
can't.
into that like that Predator business, Spirit Halloween.
Spirit Halloween
just-
store is open for a month a year.
Yeah,
they come out of
wherever
nowhere.
a business falls, a Spirit Halloween will open.
It's so true.
Come out of
Pop up
nowhere.
out of
It's like,
nowhere.
yeah, that was a Toys R Us, and now it's like, boom, Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for Halloween. Enjoy your Halloween. Stay safe.
Have a spooky time.
No, we're not going anywhere first because let's hit the case file of the week, or not case file of the week. What the fuck am I talking about? UFO case file of the week. Hit the music, and let's get a fan story.
Fan story. All right. Let's I lost the randomatron. Oh, there it is. Here we go. Scanning. It's a really loud printer. I'll get a new one eventually. I think I'm gonna upgrade to a bubble jet.
The randomatron gets smaller, but the printer stays the same.
Yeah, it printers. You know,
It's tough. This story is from Rob, and Rob is from Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin. Not a lot of Irish listeners actually, so that's
No, so he's
cool.
one of few.
one of the few.
Thanks for this. First off, thanks for his story, Rob. He's got 2 stories. I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna pick. What do you guys want first? Let's go first story. When my mother Julie was about 13 or 14, herself and her best pal Sandra would hang around Johnny Cullen's Hill. That's in quotations. Around the corner from my grandmother's house. The hill was named after the supposed headless horseman who was seen many times traveling back and forth over it. Apparently, the only other place outside of Sleepy Hollow named after a headless horseman. At the bottom of the hill, there was a church known as the Black Church. I'm not sure why it was called this, to be honest, and it's gone now. Below the church, there was a series of underground tunnels and caverns, and this is where my mother and her friend decided to break in one day, just to get up to no good, as kids do. The church had been closed a while by then, and they had to climb under a broken wooden gate to get in. Once in, they headed to the back of the church and down into the tunnels. My mother says while down there, after a while, she needed to go for a pee really badly, so told her friend to wait and keep lookout, even though there definitely wasn't anyone else about. But she remembers that it was still very eerie. While midstream, in quotations, Sandra said, "Hurry up, I hear a noise." With that, instantly from around the corner, one of the connecting tunnels, a very tall man, dressed in all black, wearing a black top hat, appeared and started walking towards them. My mother pulled up her trousers as quick as she could and ran to Sandra. They both stood there, looking at the man, afraid to move because clearly this man was going to be angry they broke in. Maybe an odd caretaker of some kind, they thought. They immediately started apologizing for breaking in and said they'd leave right away, but the man didn't respond. Sandra, being a bit rough and never afraid to speak up, shouted, "Fuck off, you weirdo. We're going, okay?" My mother grabbed her arm to get her attention and to stop her from reacting. Sandra shrugged off my mother's grasp and said to her, "No, I don't care. We're not doing anything wrong. We're leaving now. Anyway, okay?" Right then, my mother, with tears streaming down her face, muttered, "Sandra, look at his feet. Oh, for fuck's sakes, where are his feet?"
Oh, shit.
Sandra looked down, and what they seen wasn't feet, but what looked like horses' hooves. The hooved man
Or goat.
took a few steps toward them without making a sound. So in panic mode, they ran as fast away from the man in almost pitch black further into the tunnel, sobbing and screaming all the way, and eventually made their way out into the back gardens of the church. My mother told me they didn't speak much about it that night until they were in their 20s, but both agreed and knew what they had seen. According to my mother, whoever or whatever it was, it certainly wasn't good. Whew!
Jesus.
Goat man.
Fucking goat man,
Goat
dude.
man.
Could be Goat Man.
Sandra's a badass, though, hey?
Goat man rocks a top hat.
Yeah. Listen, everybody's got a game plan until you see horse feet.
It's true.
Or a top hat.
Or top hat.
Yeah.
Fucking rocking a
That's
top hat.
terrifying,
Like,
though, man. Like, I don't like that.
No, that was actually scary.
Give me a little-
Yeah, that's a
give me
scary
little
story.
shivers. Woo. It's a good spooky story for you all on Halloween. So you got a theory of the week?
I got a theory of the week. These guys have been around a long time. And
dinosaurs.
going out to T-Rex, baby. This week, the theorite of the week is actually theorites of the week. It's a couple, and they just want to go by Mr. and Mrs. Zeitgeist. They've been supporting on Patreon pretty much since the start. They have sent us pictures from all over the country when they go on road trips. They listen to alien theorists theorizing on their honeymoon, pretty much like every episode. They're some of our biggest fans, and I've been meaning to give them a shout out for a long time. So today's the day. Mr. and Mrs. Zeitgeist, the theorites of the week. Cheers.
Right on.
Co-theorites, though.
Yay.
They're in the top 10 longest supporters, these two. So
Right on.
it's awesome. What else we got to do here? The podcast reviews app, I guess our account expired. So that's why there's no
Yeah, I was gonna.
that's why there's no new reviews.
Yeah, I was gonna say something fucky's happened with that. We can't see any reviews.
So we're like a month behind or 3 weeks behind, so we can't really see the new one. So we'll get back to it. There's one on. Do you have the Facebook page open, Braden? There's one I want you to read in a wrestling promo.
Oh, cool.
No, I don't. Can you? I'll look on the while you're reading some Patreons. I'll try to pull it up.
Oh, okay. Patreons. Here's Patreons coming up real quick. We're so quick on the computers now.
Yeah, so quick. Wow.
So quick.
This is a great thing about live stream is you get to see all these long pauses. We can't cut
all
them
the
out.
bullshit. I can't even. I don't even have my phone is dead, so I gotta try and do it on the thing. Patrons benefits.
For some reason, my computer will never allow me to look. It just loads and loads and loads.
That's
Okay, while you guys do that, maybe we can go through comments on YouTube. I see some. We got Restream Bot in here giving us stuff from Facebook too. Go back a little bit right here. Here's good. All right, what up from Robinson, Illinois, boys? First time seeing you guys. Love your stuff. Keep it going. Justin Swingler. Thanks, Justin. Claudia Sorrow says, reminds me of what, I guess this is referring to the story, reminds me of what my grandmother saw in her kitchen years ago. Cloaked figures, what she described as demon feet sneaking out from underneath.
Oh shit!
I wonder what are demon feet?
Like
Is that hoof feet? Or could it be like
Could it be
bird
Goatman?
feet?
Could it be Goatman?
It's probably Goat
It'd
Man.
be Goat Man? Goat
Probably
Men.
Goat Man.
Goat Boy. Let's see. The Little Red Pig says, can Meme Cat, I guess that's your cat, can be a Theorite of the Week, or is that illegal? 100% illegal. Cats are not eligible for Theorite of the Week.
Nope, 100% not. Sorry.
Yeah, I got the 5-star review up. I think it's from Brendan Burmeister.
Is that the one?
Let me tell you something, brother. 5 stars. Awesome podcast. I've listened to every episode and can't wait for new ones to drop. The wrestling references and the ambulance driver stories, are the best. Braden reading things is one of my favorite segments. You guys give me that comfortable feeling that reminds me of my group of friends. And I feel like hanging out with you would be similar. Would love to hear your takes on the outlaw Jesse James and Billa the Kid conspiracies in the future episodes. I also emailed you guys a personal encounter story a few weeks back. Keep on being too sweet. Lots of love from Wisconsin. Thanks, Brendan Burmeister.
Booyah.
I think I saw his story. I didn't read it this time though. Maybe next time. It's in the Randomatron. Queued up.
All right, I got some patrons. It's been actually a good week for patrons.
Our favorite people.
Let's do a quick summary. Patreon is a artist support platform, pretty much, and we're an ad-free show. And so how we get by is people donate to the show monthly, and we do a ton of bonus material. I think we're at like probably about almost 70 hours of bonus stuff.
Oh, 100%, man. We got a full another podcast on Patreon.
Oh, dude, it's getting more every week. So if you want to check it out, you can Alien Theorist or patreon.com/Alien Theorist podcast, or you can find the link in the podcast description. So this week we're going May with 2 Y's went up in her pledge. Doc Legless, Kevin Conley, delete. Marcellus the Wise.
Ooh.
Who plays D&D maybe?
Is that Zalarius' long-lost cousin?
No, arch fucking nemesis, I think. Joel Neal, Michael Johnston, Matthew T. Robinson, Mr. Muttley. That's a delete. That's a delete. That's a delete. Oh, big delete. Delete spree. Darius W. Jeff Ventry. Frank Price and Trent Robertson. Let's do a couple more. I'm not sure where we left off. Luke Dennis, Kid Wonder, and Maria Elena Ruiz. Those are the newest Patreon supporters. What are you laughing at, Dan?
It's great. It's great. Good at reading names.
Thanks, buddy. I've been practicing for 4 years now. Getting better every time.
If you're not already on our Patreon, go get on it. It's awesome. Helps support the show. Keep it ad free. We're gonna hold out as long as we can. We don't want to be ads. It's looking good right now, and we're gonna open up a new tier of Patreon for $1,000. You can send Braden, Zell, and Andrew and Dan to India to get hair plugs. We all want full heads of hair. We're losing it by the minute, and we want to have luscious locks like we did in our early 20s. So
never coming-
our new Patreon tier, $1,000. There's only going to be 100 of you, so get it while you last. And one time only, because once we hit that number and we get the hair plugs, that tier loses its cause forever. So
It's gone.
the hair plug tier is going to be opening soon, $1,000. So
There you go.
you know,
And
it's just going to help the live stream, really. So help us help you.
look better for everybody.
If you want to be the most VIP of VIPs.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the conversation going on to after hours on Patreon only. So if you want to listen to what we say after the show, get to our Patreon, subscribe, and we release them always.
Join us on
for Patreon
Discord for
supporters.
after hours. And
Yeah.
gotta say it before we end tonight. I'm doing it every week. Trying to music of the week. If you got an original band or your original artist, send us your songs. Tell us we can use them on the stream, and we'll be playing them. These are going to be songs you won't hear on Spotify playlists. They're not on the radio. They're for up and coming bands because it's pretty hard to get heard. So I'm trying to do a little service to my fellow musicians out there. So this band's called The Carbons. They've been on the show a couple times before. They're a fellow Kelowna band. Just kind of like it's a rock tune, but more on the indie side, but it's still a good tune. Good friends of ours. Check them out on Spotify, Facebook, or wherever. It's called Comforts That Kill. I'll play at the end of the episode. That's all I got.
And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.
Peace.
Hey.
A thousand regrets from rocket fuel nights, 100 cigarettes and 50 Coors Lights, talking to people I shouldn't be talking to. Now I'm doing the things I swore I'd never do. It was fun though, sweaty Betty. What do you know? I got any comforts to kill, a poison pill that is through a dollar bill. Comforts to kill, I can't sit still. This ghost sends me against my will. Comforts that kill. Comforts that kill. I'm in so deep, but I've made my own bed. Now I have to sleep with all the demons that I fed. They're in the backseat on my road to ruin. So I'll just tell Ma the devil made me do it. Comforts to kill, poison pill, that is through a dollar bill. Comforts to kill, I can't sit still. This ghost tells me against my will. Comforts that kill. Comforts that kill. Comforts that kill. Comforts that It was fun though, sweaty Betty. It was fun though, sweaty Betty. Don't you think? It was fun, but now it's getting heavy. What do you know? I got any comforts to kill, a poison pill, powders through my dollar bill. Comforts to kill, I can't sit still. This ghost sounds me. Comforts to kill, a poison pill, powders through a dollar bill. Comforts to kill, I can't sit still. This ghost sounds me.
That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable. The comfort of your favorite seat is now your comfy car selling command center, thanks to Carvana.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Your favorite seat's the best spot in the house. Make it even better by entering your license plate or VIN and getting a real offer in minutes.
There really is no place like home.
And speaking of home, Carvana will pick up your car from yours after you finalize your offer. Visit Carvana.com or download the app and sell your car from your comfy place.